Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. We're glad that you're here. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Together we're Backyard. What?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Together we're Backyard Musings, the science and technology channel.
Yeah, we hope you're having a good weekend, and we are going to be talking about mining on Mars.
Yeah, mining to sustain the Mars colony, right? Mining asteroids for metals and fuel may enable sustainable Mars colonies by reducing reliance on Earth-based resources and lowering mission costs. Could the rocks floating through space one day help humanity survive on another world? Scientists are beginning to explore whether asteroids could provide the metals and fuel needed to make Mars habitable. Would you like to know more?
Okay, remember the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis? Oil drillers in space and an asteroid the size of Texas bearing down on Earth. I did not see that movie. I'm aware of it, but I did not see that movie. Buried beneath the Hollywood chaos is a genuinely interesting question. What exactly could we do with an asteroid if we got our hands on one? As it turns out, the answer has nothing to do with blowing it up. Sorry, Bruce. But everything to do with building a new world.
Yeah, and besides Armageddon, there's a TV series called The Expanse. And The Expanse is about the inner planets, Mars and Earth, that are populated. Mars has a colony. And those people are called the Inners. And the United Nations controls the Earth. And Mars has a Congress. And then the outer planets, which includes large asteroids and moons that are habitable, they're called the outers, and they mine asteroids for the metals. That's their livelihood.
And do they sell it to the inners?
Yes, yeah. Oh. Barter and trade, yeah.
So let me get this. So Mars is controlled by a government like we have now.
Mars Congressional Republic is what it's called.
And is it run any better than our?
No. But it's different because it's a brutal survival on Mars. So everybody contributes together to get things done, just to survive. So they got that mentality of
socialism.
We got to work together. Mars first, right?
Socialism.
Right. Unlike, it's brutal. You know, there's a lot of discipline there. Unlike Earth, it's every man out for themselves. You know.
So. The way that we used to govern Earth has been out the door, and now it's been taken over by the United Nations.
Then the United Nations controls the Earth, Secretary General.
So let that be a lesson to you that the United Nations, no good.
Yeah. It's called The Expanse.
The Expanse. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, building a colony. Oh, that's mine.
Yeah.
Building a colony on Mars is not just an engineering problem; it's a logistics one too. The logistics, unglamorous as it sounds, may ultimately determine whether humanity becomes a multiplanetary species or stays firmly rooted on Earth.
Think about what a Mars colony actually needs. Not just food and oxygen, but metal. Structural steel for habitats, aluminum for equipment, iron for tools, and many other components will wear out, break, and need replacing. Kind of like this country used to be, right? We didn't always have that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we had oxygen, obviously, but metal had to be developed, and aluminum, and all that stuff. So shipping of all that from Earth every time is not a serious long-term strategy.
You'd have like a continuous stream of spaceships going back and going there full and back empty, or with whatever they discover and want to trade with the Earth, you know?
Right, and you'd probably have to have a series of space stations along the way, right? Because it's not just a couple hours away.
I don't know that you'd have space stations because we're orbiting around the sun. It takes us a year. It takes Mars longer because they're farther out.
Right.
So and Mars at its Mars has called the not apex, maybe it's called the apex, where it's closest to Earth, and then there's a point where it's farthest from Earth. So I don't know that having space stations, unless those space stations are moving.
Oh yeah, they got to move. They got to be synchronized with
that could possibly be, but now you have to resupply the space stations.
Yeah. It's like a
or
Home Depot in
or
space.
or have them be automated like an AI or something like that.
Yep, it would be like an IKEA and a Home Depot, just revolving, orbiting around, and that would be a stopping off point, or maybe even a mall where there's food and entertainment and clothing, and then that's a stopping off point. Because
It could be like a little rest and relaxation from the rigors of space travel.
yeah, what do they call that thing up there in Wyoming? It's called
The ranch, the bunny
Little
ranch.
America. Little America.
Oh, okay.
You familiar with that? They have a gas
No.
station. They have service station. They have restaurant. They have, it's like a giant convenience store. So I think they even have a motel there. But anyway,
So a rocket launch costs tens of millions of dollars per ton of cargo, and the journey to Mars takes between 6 and 9 months, depending on where the two planets happen to sit in their orbits. You cannot run a hardware store on that kind of supply chain.
a new study from researchers at EPFL in Switzerland has now done the hard math on mining asteroids and delivering the metals directly to Mars. The solar system contains millions of asteroids, and the metallic ones, known as M-type asteroids, are essentially giant lumps of iron, nickel, and other valuable materials floating through space. The question is whether we can actually reach them, extract what we need, and get it to Mars efficiently enough to make it worthwhile. The answer, it turns out, is a careful yes, but with conditions. Why aren't we doing that now and bringing those things back here?
We just need an entrepreneur, an Elon Musk, to do it.
Yeah.
On the Expanse, they had like little maneuverable ships that had nets where they just scoop the asteroids up into the net, and then they take that back to wherever they took it to, Ceres or Io, Ganymede, for processing.
So somebody's already thought about this process, even though it's fiction.
Yeah.
It's fiction.
Yeah.
But like you said the other day on another one of our topics, there are people doing some of this stuff now that they've learned from, was it Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's possible. Anyway.
The team ran a computer program that tests thousands of different combinations to find the best possible answer across multiple supply chains. They considered the energy required to travel between different asteroids and Mars, the mass of metals that could realistically be extracted, and crucially, the fuel needed for the return journey.
The last point is where a clever twist enters the picture, kind of like my project. Some asteroids are carbonaceous. They are rich in carbon and water ice. Process those materials correctly, and you can manufacture a rocket propellant right there in space. See? You need a space station to do all that.
You gotta have water. You gotta have ice.
Yep. Eliminating the need to carry return fuel from Earth. The story builds this possibility directly into supply chain calculations.
Yeah, but you're taking a big risk going out without the fuel to return, hoping that you're going to find water. So, I mean, you don't find the water, you can't get the fuel to get back, you die in space.
Are you talking about mass quantities of water?
Well, whatever quantity you need to split the hydrogen and oxygen and use that hydrogen for propellant, whatever that is.
This is like a hydraulic system then, a water hydraulic system?
Yeah. And then the oxygen you can breathe.
So could you take the water with you?
Sure you could, but it would be more efficient to take propellant with you because now you don't have to split the hydrogen and water. That's like the worst case scenario. The best case is to find it there and mine it and turn it into fuel and oxygen. That's really efficient.
But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We don't have we just barely started with commercial spacecraft that are going up just for joyrides, taking people up, and SpaceX is taking cargo up. Now we need an entrepreneur to say, okay, we're going to go out to this asteroid belt. We're going to mine it and bring it back and see if we can make money. right? Entrepreneur.
What if we were able to latch onto one of these asteroids and drag it back?
Well, that was one of the things in the Expanse. The Inners would attack Earth by taking big asteroids and putting like propellant rockets on them or whatever, and aiming it at Earth. I mean, just aiming it, not specific, and igniting it so the rocket it would change the trajectory and send the asteroid to Earth, and then it would crash either in the ocean or Jakarta or Rio de Janeiro, wherever. And then that caused and you do that with 100 or 1,000, and something's going to hit, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Sounds devastating.
Yeah. The
Okay.
results identify specific asteroids that sit within reach of current spacecraft technology, where the energy cost of getting there and back is low enough to make the mission viable. The team soon learned that selecting the right targets is everything. A poorly chosen asteroid could consume more fuel than the value of the metals it delivers.
Yeah, I was going to say, what if you land on one of these asteroids and it's dead? I mean, there's nothing on it, just a bunch of rock.
Well, just like we survey for gold and silver and oil,
Right.
we do that research first. These mining companies,
Right.
they survey it, probable locations, and then they send a probe down to see what's there. They're like, okay, we got something there. Then they move in and they extract it. It'd be this very same thing.
Yeah. What makes this study significant is not that it solves the problem, because we are all still a long way from the first asteroid mining operation, except for the show you're talking about.
Right.
Instead, it demonstrates that the problem is 100% solvable. The supply chain delivering metals from space to Earth, or from space to Mars, fueled by propellant manufactured on the asteroid themselves. The colony on Mars will need builders. It will also need someone to sort out the deliveries, and this study shows it can be done. Yeah. So again,
You
it's
need
a brand new colony.
not just builders, engineers.
Yep. Yeah. Brand new colony. All new.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it was when they came here.
Yeah, and then so they'll be dependent on Earth to a certain point, and then they'll say, okay, we're breaking off from Earth. We've got our own government. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And now we got to deal with another nation.
Yeah. Hopefully
Not
not
a colony anymore.
nations. So, all right. Well, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sabbath, and see you Monday. Oh no,
Well, we got one more.
We got one more this afternoon. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
We'll
I'm ready
see ya.
to enjoy my weekend. All right.